Melbourne, it's time to get loud and say it with me. This is Monster Jam. We are going to kick things off with the JCB racing competition, where all 8 trucks have been seeded into the bracket based on a random draw. We'll follow that bracket from round 1 on to the semifinals and then on to the JCB racing finals, where the fastest 2 will compete for the first 8 points towards the overall event championship. So, who's ready for JCB racing? Unbelievable slate of competition here in round number 1. Coming up first, making his Australian debut out of Clarion, Pennsylvania, Tony Oaks, Iron Man. And his opponent from Maumee, Ohio, Charlie Pockin, Megalodon. These 2 competitors fired up, and they are approaching their respective starting lines. They are set. Let's go green. Maybe jump the gun just a moment there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it looks like they will now back off their starting lines and reset. Remember, they're looking at opposite ends of the stadium. At those lighting trees, we are looking for 4 amber lights across the board. Once we have them, we should be seconds away from going green. We had them, but they backed off. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, they back off of those starting lines. And I've been told by the Monster Jam officials that they are resetting because of a safety hold. Once again, Monster Jam fans, if you're seated in the lower bowl, we will not be able to go with the racing action until you are clear of those safety holds. All the areas that are tarped off in front of you count as the safety holds. And I know this is a little difficult and a little different than what you're used to with the bottom feed building. But if you're over in section 35, you need to be either up in your seats or beneath. You cannot be crossing through the safety hold area while truck movement is happening. Again, I've been told by the Monster Jam officials that is why they've had to reset. Now it seems like they are clear. So ladies and gentlemen, as they reapproach, they are set. Let's try it again. There it is. Let's go green. A very, very close finish between these 2 competitors. We're going to look at the replay. The Monster Jam officials are going to rewind it frame by frame. And your winner is Iron Man. What a race. What a finish. Tony Oaks in his Australian debut taking down Megalodon to move on to the semifinals. Meanwhile, coming up next, Matt Cody, Gravedigger. And there's his opponent, Bernard Light, the amazing Spider-Man. These two have faced off so much over the last year and a half, and now they're going head-to-head here in round number 1 of JCB Racing. Gravedigger is set. The amazing Spider-Man inching up on the starting line, now backing off. And now both of these competitors backing off of their starting lines. Remember, they were looking at opposite lighting trees, and everything has to be in sync. Once you see the outside ambers illuminate, that means they can approach their starting lines. Once we've got 4 ambers, we are set to go, and we're going green. Monster Jam fans, this one might be all over but the shouting. Ladies and gentlemen, what an unfortunate turn of events right there for Matt Cody and Gravedigger. He came firing off the starting line, but then the truck just shut off, and now you can see the recovery team has hit the track. The loader is here. That is not great news for Gravedigger and Matt Cody, but the results of that race will count. Both of those drivers able to get off of their starting line. So it really is nothing but bad luck right now for Gravedigger, but it is a great turn of events for the amazing Spider-Man and Bernard Light. He's able to cross the finish line, and he will be advancing. We'll do our best to update you as to the status of Gravedigger as soon as we have an update with that Monster Jam truck. But of course, no matter where we go in the world, so many Gravedigger fans, and that is not the way that Matt Cody likes to start out his events. So far, we have seen 2 races, and there you can see Iron Man has moved on, as well as the amazing Spider-Man. They're going to face off, barring something unforeseen, in our first matchup of the semifinals, but still plenty more to do here in round number 1 to the tune of 2 more races coming up in JCB Racing. Coming up next, it's Miranda Kozad, Thor. And her opponent, Blake Granger, Max D. Another 2 competitors that have faced off on the International Series for the last year and a half or so, including last year right here in Melbourne. They're set. Let's go green. There is your winner, Max D. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been given some word by the Monster Jam officials that El Toro Loco is currently broken and not able to compete here in the JCB racing competition. They have not yet been able to elaborate on what the breakage is, which means that he and his crew, both Peter Nyman and everybody out there, is still trying to diagnose what is wrong with that Monster Jam truck. But we've given him all the time that we possibly can. He will not be able to compete, and that means advancing automatically will be Black Panther and Joe Dennis. So that means that the semifinals are set. Let's take a look up at the video board, and you'll see Iron Man taking on the Amazing Spider-Man. And of course, there was a lot of intrigue in those two matchups as well. Iron Man with the photo finish to take down Megalodon, and then the Amazing Spider-Man aided by the breakage for Gravedigger. Then we saw Max D take down Thor. It was a great racing pass, one of the smoothest we've seen for the International Series champion Blake Granger. And of course, like I just mentioned, Black Panther and Joe Dennis advancing by default here into the semifinals because of the breakage with El Toro Loco.
It's time for the JCB Racing semifinal round. The fastest 4 of our competitors have advanced on into the semifinals, but keep in mind only the fastest 2 will make it on into the final round before we crown our #1 JCB Racing champion. So Melbourne, make some noise if you want to see some more JCB Racing!
Great matchup about to get underway. It is Iron Man versus the Amazing Spider-Man. It is an all-Marvel showdown here to kick off the semifinal round. Tony Oaks taking on Bernard Light. They will fire and approach their starting lines. And now you've had the opportunity to see how tricky this race course can be. The Cyclone-style racing here in Melbourne. They'll fire up those Monster Jam trucks. And they make their approach. They're locked on their starting lines. Let's go green. There's your winner, Iron Man. What an Australian debut it has been so far for Tony Oaks. He is flying through that racing bracket, and now he finds himself in the JCB Racing Finals. But now it's time to see who he'll be facing off against. It is Max D taking on Black Panther. And of course, this is an interesting matchup in its own right. You have the International Series champion, Blake Granger, behind the wheel of Max D, taking on Joe Dennis, who is making his Australian debut, his Black Panther debut, and his stadium debut right here, right now. So a little bit of history here in Melbourne. They're set. Let's go green. And there is your winner, Max D. It was a good race and a valiant effort from Joe Dennis, but the International Series champion, just too much for him, as Blake Granger is able to take the win and move on to the JCB Racing Finals. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been eventful from the moment we kick things off, but now we are down to the JCB Racing Finals, where the fastest two will compete for the first 8 points towards that overall event championship. Are you ready to meet your final contenders? Coming up first, making his Australian debut and ripping through the racing bracket, it's Tony Oakes, Iron Man. His opponent, the reigning, defending International Series champion, Blake Granger, Max D. Max D is set, Iron Man is set, let's go green! Able to fake me out once again. They have backed off their starting lines and now they begin their reapproach. It looks like they are set. There's your winner, Max D. Blake Granger showing once again why he is the International Series champion, unfazed by the false starts, unfazed by competitors he is not used to lining up against. He is able to take down Thor. He is able to take down Black Panther. And finally, he defeats Iron Man to be your racing winner. There he is, Blake Granger, Max D.
Blake, congratulations. You know, John just said it best. There's a reason why you are the International Series champion. Starting off so strong here. Congratulations.
Man, you know, it feels so good. First racing win right here in Melbourne this year. Tony, brother, he's one of my good friends. But you're going to show up on this international tour. You got to go through me, baby. But hey, how about this Monster Jam race in Melbourne? Let me hear you.
Now, Blake, coming up next is the Kmart Skills Challenge. You are known for pulling out some really cool and really crazy two-wheel skills, tricks, and other things that you can see here in the stadium environment. So what do you got up your sleeve today?
Man, 2 wheels, 1 wheel. Heck, we might flip this Max D truck right upside down. It's all about having fun with you guys here in Melbourne. 2-wheel skills, man, that's my favorite competition. That's what this Max D truck is known around the world for. And we're going to continue that right here in Melbourne, Australia. So you know what? Make sure you guys get your phones out. JudgesZone.com. I want to seal 10 on that board for that Max D truck. It's all about history right here this weekend in Melbourne. Next weekend in Sydney. We don't know what the future holds. But I promise you one thing. I'm going to fight till the end. This is the best truck in the world. Not Gravedigger, not Megalodon. It's Max D, baby. Let me hear you, Australia. Woo!
Another congratulations is due to the man you just saw on the video board. Of course, not me, but Blake Granger and Max D for capturing 8 points towards the overall event championship. Let's see the standings up on the big screen. Of course, when you win the first competition, you are going to find yourself in first place. Max D with 8 points on the board, followed by Iron Man with 7. Then we've got a tie, Black Panther and the Amazing Spider-Man with 4 points apiece. After that, we've got another tie, Gravedigger, Megalodon, and Thor, all with 2 points each for failing to make it out of round number 1. And at the bottom of the pack, we're going to see El Toro Loco and Peter Nyman so far with a goose egg, a big 0 for not being able to compete in JCB racing. We're going to see if he can make it out for the next competition, which is, of course, the Kmart Skills Challenge. And this is where you're going to see some of the most technical moves in our sport put on full display. Now, remember, drivers have the option to execute either 1 attempt at a donut or 2 attempts at a 2-wheel skills maneuver. And on a big track like this, you might see anything from stoppies, poppers, wheelies, bicycles, moonwalks. You may even see combination moves that you have never seen before. All of that is coming your way in the Kmart Skills Challenge.
I'm hanging out with Rory in the stands. He was very excited to show me his new toys that he's gotten here today, along with some autographs on his shirt. Like I said, I love being able to interact with these fans because you show us nothing but love. And we have a really special game coming up next. It's our official Monster Jam helmet shuffle. So Rory, look up on that video board. See where you see yourself at? You're going to see 3 helmets, right? 3 helmets that are bouncing up and down, and you're going to see a trophy. As you can see, the trophy is moving side to side. In a moment, they're all going to freeze. They're going to hide the trophy. They're going to mix up, and you have to try to guess which helmet the trophy is going to hide under. Do you think you're ready, Rory?
You ready, baby? Say yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he is ready. So let's take a look up at that video board and see those helmets. Let's shuffle them up and see which helmet the trophy lands under. Okay, so I want you to get this right, Rory, okay? It looks like you're already pointing in the direction of one of the helmets. So we're going to take a look up at the video board and see which one it's under. Is it 1, 2, or 3? It looks like you're holding up a 1. Let's see if you're correct. Well, it looks like it's not underneath of 2. Which one do you think it is again, Rory?
1. Never word. Say 1.
Wow.
You think it's under 1? I think he's right. Check out that trophy, Rory. Give me some. And guess what? For playing with me today, I have something special. So I was told that you like taking naps, right? So we have a really cool plushy Megalodon pillow for you right inside of a box that's coming my way right now. My special friend is bringing it on over. He's going to hand it to me. Check that out. One of our Megalodon plushie trucks that you get to take home with you today for participating with me. One more time. Give me a high five, Rory. Melbourne, make some noise one more time for Rory for playing with me today and being a great sport during Monster Jam.
We talked a lot during trackside about this being a truly international weekend here in Monster Jam. Not only are all of us rocking in Melbourne and Amy Park, but we have 5 big events that just got underway in Mexico City. Let's turn our attention over to the video board and see the results up to the moment from Mexico City. Of course, this is a Friday evening event for all of the folks in Mexico. Let's take a look up at the video board, and you can see the racing win went to Dragon and Cody Saucier, pound for pound, maybe the best racer in the sport. And then the 2-wheel skills challenge win went to Armando Castro and El Toro Loco, the reigning 2-wheel skills world finals champion. As we get more updates coming up over the next few moments, we will be sure to let you know when we can as they chase down that overall event championship. But meanwhile, coming up next here in Melbourne is the aforementioned Kmart Skills Challenge. For more on how you're going to take part in this competition, let's kick it back down to Unissa Cruz. Unissa?
Thank you so much, John. Now, as I said earlier during trackside, this is where every single person at Amy Park comes into play. You're going to play a pivotal role in helping us crown our overall event champion tonight. So I need everyone right now to take out your cell phones and go to judgeszone.com. Later on, you'll see on the video board a QR code that you can scan to take you to judgeszone.com. You'll be able to go ahead and put in the code MEL when you see those 3 X's. And then once each one of these trucks has stopped their run, the clock is going to start counting down from 20 seconds. You have 20 seconds to get your score in. And in order to score, all you do is slide that BKT tire up or down, select that score, and don't forget to hit that submit button before scores are locked. Now, I just have one more question really quickly for everyone out here at Amy Park. Who is ready for the Kmart Skills Challenge?
We're going to start things off with Bernard Light and the Amazing Spider-Man.
Give it up for Bernard Light, the Amazing Spider-Man. And Melbourne, this is your very first opportunity to score at judgeszone.com. There you see it on the video board. You'll be able to go to judgeszone.com right now by scanning the QR code. Make sure you didn't forget to put in the code MEL and slide that BKT tire up or down to select your score. Make sure you don't forget to hit that submit button before scores are locked. You still have a little bit of time left on that clock.
Bernard Light showing us a little new school, a little bit of old school, getting up on the nose of that Monster Jam truck and then absolutely soaring through the air off the step up. There you can see the massive air he is able to get in that second attempt. A very good run from start to finish. Let's see your scores from judgeszone.com. 5.899, that is your score to beat. After making it all the way to the finals in our last competition, he is right back at it, looking to show out here in the Kmart Skills Challenge. It's Tony Oaks, Iron Man.
Put your hands together for Tony Oaks, Iron Man. And make sure you go ahead and score at judgeszone.com. He does qualify for that score while there's still some time left on that clock. I see a lot of folks right now selecting a score, but make sure you don't forget to hit that submit button in order for your score to count.
A good run from start to finish at the hands of Tony Oaks and Iron Man. Of course, he's really cut his teeth and has the bulk of his experience in arenas back in the States. And you can see that as he opts for 2 arena moves going off the side of the pod into that nose wheelie and then backsiding the race ramp, also getting on the nose. A nice thumbs up right there from Tony Oaks. Let's check out your scores for Iron Man. 7.062, a good score and a new leader. Take a look up at the big board and you will see with just 2 competitors down and 6 more competitors still to come. We hope, of course, some of those issues with Toro Loco seem to be resolved as he is back out on the track. But Gravedigger still missing from the lineup here on the track right now. I know the Monster Jam officials, the Monster Jam technicians rather, working on that truck as best they can to try to get Matt Cody out here for the Kmart Skills Challenge. But right now, Iron Man with that 7.062 sitting in your top spot. Here comes Miranda Kozad, Thor.
Miranda Kozad, Thor. And go ahead over to judgeszone.com right now. Keep in mind that during the Kmart Skills Challenge, each one of these competitors can either complete 2 two-wheel skills or an attempt at donuts. And the latter is what Miranda Kozad just did very well. The number of rotations all the way through to the end when she stopped was exceptional. So make sure you go ahead and score right now at judgeszone.com.
A great donut attempt indeed from that woman right there, Miranda Kozad, behind the wheel of Thor. But now the question becomes, did she do enough in that one attempt to give her the top spot? Score to beat 7.062. Let's check out your scores for Thor. Not quite enough, but good enough to take over second place. 6.122. Score to beat still with Iron Man. Kmart Skills Challenge leaderboard up on the big screen or your computer screen, TV screen. screen at home if you're watching us live on YouTube, back in the States or anywhere else in the world right now. Tony Oaks and Iron Man sitting in your top spot with a 7.062, followed by Miranda Kozad and Thor, who just ran moments ago. We got our first good look at Donuts here in the Kmart Skills Challenge. She'll slot into second place, and that'll push Bernard Light and the Amazing Spider-Man down into third. Meanwhile, coming up next, Joe Dennis, Black Panther.
Let's hear it for Joe Dennis, Black Panther. Go ahead and score right now at judgeszone.com. Up on the video board is the QR code conveniently that will take you to judgeszone.com. Make sure you get that score in. There's still some time left.
Joe Dennis, of course, not only making his Australia debut, but his stadium debut. And you can see right there, the first attempt was about as perfect as you'd want it to be. The second attempt, nearly perfect, but throws off the center of gravity too much as he's on the nose and then winds up on the lid. And that's the tricky part with these Monster Jam trucks in the two-wheel skills challenge. You have to be absolutely precise because these Monster Jam trucks weigh about 5,500 kilos each. So if you throw that center of gravity off too much, you will wind up on your side or on your lid. But he still did enough to take over second place with a 6.227.
Tough break once again for Joe Dennis in Black Panther. But right now I want to give you guys a quick update on what's happening with Gravedigger. Again, Matt Cody did not start things off the way he wanted to in the JCB racing competition. Unfortunately, there was an issue with the starter. They took it back there, assessed it further, and realized that they lost power. So what you need to do when that happens is actually jump that Monster Jam truck. So think of your own car. You have to put those jumper cables on it and get the power back, get the juices flowing again in order for this Monster Jam truck to continue to run. We are getting word that he should be able to compete in the Kmart Skills Challenge. If that changes, I will, of course, update you guys. But right now, it is looking good for the Black and Green Wrecking Machine to make its way back out here.
Coming up next, we are going to get our first look of the afternoon at the man on the big screen from Gothenburg, Sweden, Peter Nyman, El Toro Loco.
Let's make some noise for Peter Nyman, El Toro Loco. And make sure you head on over to judgeszone.com. Monster Jam fans, I know you know the drill by now. Get that score in before scores are locked.
All in all, a very good run right there from El Toro Loco as we get our first look of the weekend, first look of the afternoon, and for a lot of you fans, first look ever at Peter Nyman behind the wheel of El Toro Loco, opting like a lot of the drivers before him to go to the nose with those stoppy nose wheelie combinations. Let's see your scores at judgeszone.com. 6.472. We get another change in second place, but that score to beat continues to belong to Iron Man. Here comes Charlie Pauken, Megalodon.
Keep that applause going for Charlie Pauken, Megalodon. And go ahead and score both of those attempts at judgeszone.com right now. The clock has already started ticking down from 20 seconds, but you still have some time left. And make sure you don't forget to hit submit in order for your score to count.
Melbourne, all I can say is wow on that second attempt from Charlie Pauken. The first one, I think if you asked him, did not go exactly the way he would have wanted, but that second one was absolute perfection and such a tricky maneuver to execute. That bicycle, and he rides it all the way across the track. Score to beat 7.062. Your score for Megalodon is... we have a new leader, 8.954. What a run and what a score for Megalodon and Charlie Pauken. Let's take a look at the replay, and you can see him here using the side of that race ramp and then coasting to a finish over by the backflip ramp. Such a pro move to know where he had the room on the track and where he could bring that Monster Jam truck to a stop. And all of that turns into a new leader and a new top score here in the Kmart Skills Challenge. That run right there for Megalodon really upsetting the apple cart a bit with just two competitors remaining. Megalodon jumps out and top by a wide margin, 8.954. We still have two drivers left here in the Skills Challenge. And here comes the first of them. Bouncing back all the way from the issues in JCB Racing, it's Matt Cody, Gravedigger. Monster Jam fans, this is a tricky spot right now for Matt Cody and Gravedigger. We heard from Christina Moore before that he was having electrical issues and that Monster Jam truck needed to be jumped. Obviously able to be fired up, but now it is having a hard time staying fired as he is out on the track. It looks like we're going to try to see if we can jump that Monster Jam truck once again.
Monster Jam fans, unfortunately, that is it for Matt Cody and Gravedigger, but please make some noise. He does still qualify for that score at judgeszone.com for his attempts, so go ahead and score right now. The QR code is up on the video board.
An unfortunate start right here for Matt Cody and Gravedigger. We've talked a lot about how those electrical issues can rear their ugly head time and time again. And all he can do is shrug as he pops out of the black and green wrecking machine. And now you can see some of the recovery team, our tech officials out there to aid in Matt Cody. But still a pretty good score all told, 5.273, but only enough for 7th place. And you can see there, ladies and gentlemen, they did indeed bring that jump box out, but the Monster Jam officials determined that he was not going to be able to compete from what they saw out on the track, or compete fully, I should say. They do jump it so that he can drive it all the way back to the crash area and have his technician take a look as they see if they can get Gravedigger set and ready for Monster Jam Freestyle in the second half. There you see the scores on the board. Megalodon 8.954 with one competitor still remaining. And here he comes. He is looking to make it 2 wins in a row. He's Blake Granger, Max D.
Make some noise for Blake Granger, Max D. What a way to end the Kmart Skills Challenge. This is your final opportunity to score right now at judgeszone.com. Get that score in. There's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Blake Granger promised that he was going to show out going all the way back to the pit party. And he also promised there might be a little bit of carnage whenever he's behind the wheel of Max D. And you saw both right there looking to win 2 competitions in a row. Will he do it? Right now the score to beat is an 8.954 with Megalodon. The score for Max D is... Yes, he will. 9.378. Make it 2 in a row for Blake Granger and Max D. Blake Granger pulling out all the stops, leaving that truck on its side. We are going to hear from the man for a second time here this afternoon, but one more time for your winner, Max D.
Blake, you truly never know what you are going to get when you come out here on the track. It's destructive, it's entertaining, it's controlled. How are you able to do all of that? Like, truly, how are you able to execute all of that?
2 words. Time minutes, baby. I've been trained by the best in the world to come out here, and no matter if it's raining, shine, 4 people in the seats, you guys deserve the best Monster Jam event ever. And it's my job to come out here and do exactly what you just saw. Create some maximum destruction, some chaos. Let me hear you, Melbourne. Woo!
Now, Blake, wait a second, because if that was the skills challenge, what on earth are you going to do for freestyle?
Man, you know, I'm already having so much fun with my first ever and new woman crew chief. So let's make some noise for Shelby because she's killing it. But hey, you know, she told me this weekend, I told her, hey, this might be it for Max D these next 2 weekends. I still don't know. I am going to tear that truck to the ground for every one of you Monster Jam fans, and I don't plan on stopping now. Let me hear you. Woo!
What did I tell you? Going all the way back to Monster Jam trackside, Blake Granger is going to bring the energy, but he's also one of the most competitive people I know, and you can see it right there on the video board for a second, leaving Max D in a heap. Congratulations goes out to him, and now the story becomes, can he win freestyle and complete the sweep here this afternoon? We're going to have to wait a little bit to find out. Right now is halftime. It's the perfect time to get out of your seats, stretch your legs, walk around the concourse, maybe even check out an official Monster Jam merchandise stand, but don't go too far. We're coming right back with more Monster Jam.
Panther. Talk about burning it down to the ground. Monster Jam fans, this is your very first opportunity to score once again at judgeszone.com. So get those cell phones out right now and get that score in for an incredible freestyle run.
What a way to make a name for yourself. First time driving a new truck, first time appearing in Australia, first time competing in a stadium, which means he has never driven a Monster Jam truck in the elements like this, and he starts the run off with a spectacular save. That is a 1,500 horsepower machine. It is not easy to drift around in the mud, but Joe Dennis looking like an old pro. Let's see your scores, Melbourne. Look at that, 8.558. What a way to open up the freestyle competition with a big run and a big time score to go along with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that sometimes you don't want to be out here in the rain, but if you followed Monster Jam for a while, you know that the rain and the mud is a great equalizer, and sometimes it can lead to unbelievable moments like we saw a couple years ago at Monster Jam World Finals. And now we're going to test the mettle of all of these superstars here in freestyle as they have to not only compete against each other, but navigate the elements, navigate the dirt, the mud, the wind, and the rain to try to take home a freestyle win. And what a way to start things off here this afternoon. Let's go ahead and keep the action rolling this time with Bernard Light and the amazing Spider-Man. Hang on just a moment. The clock is paused. 85 seconds, and it seems like now he is refired and he is ready to rock. The clock will wind.
Monster Jam fans, put your hands together one more time for Bernard Light, the amazing Spider-Man. While you're cheering, make sure you go on over to judgeszone.com. The clock has already started counting down, so make sure you get that score in. The QR code is up on the video board for you.
That's a valiant effort right there from Bernard Light and the amazing Spider-Man. And we saw the kind of wow moments that the rain and the weather can create in that first run from Black Panther. But now we're seeing some of the issues that the rain and the weather, the moisture can create here with the amazing Spider-Man. Having a hard time firing, then having a hard time staying fired. Remember, those electrical issues can be really touchy. And when you're sitting out in the rain like this, it can affect the Monster Jam trucks in a big way. But in the meantime, let's Let's see your scores for the Amazing Spider-Man. 5.436, second place for now. Looks like the recovery team making their way out for the Amazing Spider-Man. Take a look up at the leaderboard. Black Panther in the top spot, 8.558. But now's an important time to shout out our friends over at BKT Tires. Of course, it's the official tire of Monster Jam. We have some BKT folks in the house here this afternoon, braving the elements, like all of us here at Monster Jam and all the fans in the stands. They are your one-stop shop for all your off-highway tire solutions with amazing quality and value. Check them out at bkttires.com.
Monster Jam fans, I'm hanging out with my new friend. Could you stand up for me? Parka is hanging out right here, and I was just asking her if this was her first event. But Parka, you said that you've been here a lot of times. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So that also means she's a super fan. So I want to actually do a fun game with you really quickly. If you take a look up at the video board, in a moment, we're going to see a really fun game from you. It's our Monster Jam trivia. And I want to see if you as a super fan, if you can guess the right answer. Do you think you're ready, Parka?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the video board and see what the question is. How much does a Monster Jam truck weigh? Is it A, 900, B, 3,000, C, 5,400, or D, 1,100? What do you think the answer is? Take your time. If anyone around knows the answer, let me know. All right, let's see if you know the answer. Do you think it's A, B, C, or D?
I'm gonna say D.
You're going to say D. Okay, let's see if you got the answer right. How much does a Monster Jam truck weigh? You were so close. It was C, but guess what? You are a really great sport, and I want to do something really nice for you. So coming up next, I have something really special. A friend of mine is going to bring you a really authentic playset right now. Right here for you is our El Toro Loco Venom Velocity Scorpion, because you just told me El Toro Loco is one of your favorite trucks. It's brought to you by Spin Master. Monster Jam fans, if you want to get your hands on this as well, check us out at Kmart. Make some noise one more time for Parka.
Thank you.
Now it's time to get back into the action with Tony Oaks and Iron Man.
Put your hands together one more time for Tony Oak's Iron Man. And make sure you go ahead and scan the QR code up on the video board to get that score in at judgeszone.com.
So far in 3 runs, we've seen a little bit of everything. And for me, the most impressive part about that run from Iron Man was how smooth it was, how controlled Tony Oakes managed to be, despite the fact that it is slick, wet, and muddy out there, and he never lost control, never lost confidence, never lost focus, and put together a great run. Is it a first place run? We are about to find out. Score to beat 8.558. Let's see your score for Iron Man. 7.753. It's a good score, but it is not quite enough. He will, however, take over second place. Coming up next, all the way from the Quad Cities of Davenport, Iowa, it's Miranda Kozad, Thor! If you fans look down at the pit area, you may see one of our tech officials right there gesturing to Miranda Kozad and Thor to fire up that Monster Jam truck. That's another component that might be affected by the rain and the moisture, is the radio communication between the crew chief and the driver inside the Monster Jam truck. So the tech officials got to run out there and make sure that they can communicate verbally and by hand with the drivers in the cab.
Melbourne, make some noise for Miranda Kozad, Thor! Go ahead right now to judgeszone.com to get that score in. What a great freestyle run, especially in these conditions. It still qualifies for a score at judgeszone.com.
She also left about 10 seconds on the clock. Maybe she felt something inside that Monster Jam truck where it just could not continue. Too hard to tell from all the way up here in the Monster Jam booth, but that is something to keep in mind as you are locking in your scores. You're going to see a lot of different runs, a lot of these drivers trying to fill the clock, and she does come up about 10 seconds short. There's your score, 6.166, third place for now. Coming up next, former Freestyle World Finals champion Charlie Pockin, Megalodon. Hang on a second, the clock is paused. 69 seconds remain if he can refire and continue on. It has been a great run. He is refired, he is restarted. He could be lining up for a backflip attempt here.
Keep that applause going for Charlie Pockin, Megalodon. And make sure while you are screaming for Charlie Pockin, you do not forget to go right on over to judgeszone.com to get that score in for that incredible freestyle run.
Charlie Pockin putting on an absolute clinic in the mud of how you navigate the conditions, but that's the kind of run you can expect from a guy with over 36 years of experience behind the wheel of a monster truck, and he finishes it with a huge backflip attempt. He does wind up on his lid. We'll see if that hurts his score. 8.558 is the score to beat. Your score for Megalodon is 9.751. What a run and what a score for Charlie Pockin. We have a new leader. Monster Jam fans, rain or shine, we know that you love all of the action here in Melbourne. Every time Monster Jam makes its way here to Australia, you don't want to miss out on when we return to Australia next year, October of 2025. Tickets are not yet on sale. Dates have not yet been announced. But if you become a Monster Jam priority customer at monsterjam.com, you can be the first to find out and get your early access to tickets. Monster Jam in Australia in 2025.
Monster Jam fans, what an incredible freestyle run by Charlie Falcon in Megalodon. But right now, I'm hanging here with Joe Dennis of Black Panther, who laid down a heater of a freestyle yourself. Joe, talk us through everything, because when you came up here, you're like, I couldn't even see.
Man, it was crazy. I had a great time. You know, I was trying to keep that throttle going just so I can keep the truck under control. You know, when I went in the air, I was like, oh boy, what's going to happen? And I ended up saving it, kept going, and put down an amazing freestyle for the Australian fans here in Melbourne, and I had nothing but a great time. That was awesome.
And I'm sure this is going to be a core memory for you. You're going to hold on to this one.
Yes, this is my first stadium freestyle, first stadium event here in Melbourne, Australia. This was a great start to a great career, and I can't wait to get ready for tonight's event.
And we still got a lot more freestyle action your way, but thank you, Joe Dennis, Black Panther.
After a wild ride, let's take a look up at the video board and you will see 5 slots filled. Megalodon now better than everybody else in your eyes to the tune of 9.751. That'll push Black Panther and Joe Dennis, who we just heard from, down into second place. He did have a great run in his own right. That pushes Iron Man down into third. Thor will fall into fourth place, and the Amazing Spider-Man down into fifth. But still, 3 competitors left here in Monster Jam Freestyle. And we've seen what a couple of other competitors can do in their Australia freestyle debut. Let's see what this guy has up his sleeve. It is Peter Nyman, El Toro Loco. Hang on a second, the clock is paused right now. 19 seconds remain. If El Toro Loco can refire, I've not been given word by the Monster Jam officials yet. You can see one of the members of the Monster Jam officiating crew trying to radio down to get El Toro Loco to refire. Keep in mind, Monster Jam fans, what I said before, with radio communication suffering as a result of the moisture and the rain, the Monster Jam officials have resorted to hand signals It's an old school move, and I've just been given word that the run is over. Let's hear it for El Toro Loco.
Monster Jam fans, Peter Nyman does still qualify for a score at judgeszone.com, so make sure you go ahead and get that score in as soon as you can.
Peter Nyman pops out of that Monster Jam truck and just shrugs it off to the fans here in Melbourne. It seemed like the truck just gave out with a little less than 20 seconds to go. He does still qualify for the score, like Yanissa mentioned, so lock them in right away for El Toro Loco. Did he do enough in that abbreviated run to take over the top spot? He's dealing with a big-time number. Scored a beat, 9.751. Let's turn our attention to the video board. First, the instant replay of the run, and there is the score on the overlay, 6.954 for Peter Nyman.
I'm hanging out in the stand still, and I just made some new friends. Can you tell everyone your names, please?
Kelly and Z.
That's right, Kelly and Z. Now, Monster Jam fans, we have something special coming up next. It's our animated race, in which we're going to see in a moment 3 trucks up on the video board that are going to race head-to-head. We'll see Gravedigger, we'll see El Toro Loco, and we'll see Megalodon. Now, I was just talking with Z, and he said he thinks he knows who the winner's going to be. Z, who do you think the winner's going to be again?
L.
L, maybe.
What's El Toro?
Let go.
You think it's going to be El Toro Loco? All right, let's take a look at the video board. It looks like El Toro Loco is ready to go. Gravedigger is also ready to go. And last but not least, Megalodon is ready to go. They're taking off right now. With Megalodon in the lead, it looks like Gravedigger is beginning to advance also alongside El Toro Loco. El Toro Loco is behind both of them, but can he continue to stay in the lead? He can! And it looks like he just took home the win. Great job to you, Z, and thank you so much for helping him out. Now I want to give you something really special for playing that game with me. I have an El Toro Loco shirt that's coming your way. It's a cool t-shirt. Look at that t-shirt. Check it out. Monster Jam fans, if you want to get your hands on a t-shirt like this, head on over to our official merchandise stand after the show is over and give it up one more time again for Z.
Before the run could even get started, it looks like Gravedigger has shut off and refired here right at the top of Freestyle. Of course, that's been a conversation since the rain has hit. And ladies and gentlemen, he shuts off again. I think he only has one more shot to fire up and remain fired. And like I said before, this has been an issue that has plagued some of these drivers in Freestyle. But for Matt Gravedigger, the electrical issues happened prior to the rain hitting here in Melbourne. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been given word by the Monster Jam officials that he cannot refire and stay fired, so the run is over for Gravedigger. He will not receive a score at judgeszone.com that will go in the books officially as a DNF, a did not finish. And you can see he's staying fired for bursts at a time, but not really able to execute. Every time the RPMs get over a certain level, that truck just continues to shut off, so he can only pull into the pit stall. A little bit of bad luck and a bad afternoon there for Gravedigger and Matt Cody. And that means we are down to our final competitor here this afternoon in Monster Jam Freestyle. He is going for a clean sweep from Lafayette, Louisiana, the International Series champion, Blake Granger, Max D. Clock is paused as the electrical issues continue, this time for Max D. Just barely getting started. 113 seconds on the board right now. Just like Gravedigger and some of the other competitors before him, give him every opportunity within reason to refire that truck and stay fired. Blake Granger going for the sweep after winning racing, winning the skills challenge, trying to come out here and make a statement in freestyle. He is contending with a big score, 9.751. You can see some tech officials now out here in the cart. That does not mean the run is over. They're going to see if they can jump that Monster Jam truck. We've talked a lot about the jump box. Very similar to jumping your car at home, just seeing if this little boost can get that Monster Jam truck fired up, and if it can remain fired for 113 seconds so that Blake Granger can freestyle. Now running over to the Monster Jam truck is Blake's crew chief, Shelby Fisher. They are trying everything they can to fire this Monster Jam truck. Shelby Fisher, very familiar with these conditions. She's normally the crew chief for Colt Stevens, who drives Thunder Roris, a two-time World Finals champion. He has competed in the rain and the mud. She is doing everything she can to get Blake Granger and Max D ready to rock here in Melbourne. It seems like the officials and the crew chief have done all that they can, and now we're just waiting on the ultimate moment of truth. Can he fire that Monster Jam truck? The track is clear. Right now, that truck seems completely dead in the water. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just gotten some bad news, and you can see right there the expression from Blake Granger, the frustration. Once you unstrap from your seat, you cannot continue in freestyle or any competition. They are out here to recover the truck. He will not receive a score in freestyle that is some bad news right there for Blake Granger and Max D. That will go in the books as another DNF. They did not finish. However, I'm being told by the Monster Jam officials that the event is not over. I know that this was supposed to be our last truck here in Monster Jam Freestyle. Once we clear off the track, I believe we'll be sending out another truck for an encore exhibition, a freestyle run. I know how competitive Blake Granger is. It is not the way he wants to go out, putting on a brave face right there. But he had a great afternoon here in Melbourne. Took the JCB Racing win, took the Kmart Skills win, but now the truck would just not cooperate. Ladies and gentlemen, that does mean we have some business to take care of. First of all, your freestyle winner with a 9.751 is Charlie Pawkin and Megalodon. But was it enough for the overall event championship? You can see the total points on the big screen right now. Your overall event champion is Ironman Tony Oaks. Not exactly the way that you draw it up, but what an Australian debut for Tony Oaks and Ironman. Staying consistent, battling the elements. And I think in this case, the trophy deservingly goes to him and his crew chief for keeping that truck as dry as they could so that he was able to compete and compete at a high level throughout all three competitions. And ladies and gentlemen, with that said, we are going to let Tony Oaks and Ironman come back out here one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit of bonus freestyle. Let's hear it for your overall event champion for the first time ever in Australia, Tony Oaks, Ironman. Ladies and gentlemen, with a little bit of bonus freestyle, there he is, your overall event champion through the rain, through the mud, through all of the moisture for the first time in his career, Tony Oaks, Iron Man. Great show of sportsmanship right there from Charlie Pauken and from Tony Oaks. And you can see it's treacherous out there. The ground is slick. All of these competitors left it all out on the track. We've got a freestyle winner. We have an overall event champion that we've got to talk to. And first, we are going to hear from Charlie Pauken and Megalodon with an absolute burner in freestyle. Charlie Pauken!
Charlie, there is a reason why you are such a well-respected veteran in this sport. I was sitting there with crew seating with your fellow drivers, your friends, and you did that incredible backflip. Everyone went crazy.
Man, these are some adverse conditions, but hey, we had to come out here and throw it out here. I want to know, hey, did you guys have a good time today? That's right. And that's all that matters here. I love coming here. I've been coming here for over 10 years, and you guys rock the house every time coming here. It's a pleasure seeing all of our great small fans growing up throughout the years. You guys are the ones that make the show, you know. We've got a lot of great sponsors here. We got Kmart, Spinmaster, BKT, JCB. But when it comes down to it, it's you, our great Monster Jam fans. You're the ones that make us who we are, and we love each and every one of you for it. Can't say enough about you. Love you guys. Woo!
Monster Jam fans, give it up one more time for your freestyle winner, Charlie Pauken and Megalodon. But Charlie, I'm going to give you the honors of handing this over to your friend, and for the first time ever on an international stage, Tony Oaks, Iron Man, your overall event champion right here. Tony, how incredible has this day been? It's been a little messy, it's been a little crazy, but your first time here in Australia, your first time behind the wheel of Iron Man, and now your first time standing here internationally as a BKT overall event champion.
You know, it's crazy. A lot of luck on my side for this event championship, and I'll tell you why. I had 3 young ladies come through the pit party, gave me a personalized sticker to put in my truck for good luck. Thanks to you girls. I appreciate you. I don't know where you are out there, but thank you so much. Boy, what a mess. Melbourne, when I tell you I went out for that encore, I could not see anything, and I mean nothing. So I was just pointing and shooting. You know, we have a lot of fun here in the mud. Unfortunately, with the rain comes electrical nightmares. But you know what? We've got another one tonight, 7 p.m. I think it's done raining. Our talented dirt crew's going to have this track dried up, and we're coming out here for destruction. We've got the most talented crew chiefs in the world. They're going to have these trucks spot on, ready to go tonight. Melbourne, thank you!
All I can say is, wow, what a crazy event from start to finish. Of course, congratulations goes out to Tony Oaks. Such a great driver. And like Christina said, for the first time on the international stage, walking away with an overall event championship. But Yanissa, that's how it is sometimes in Australia this time of year. The rain comes fast, it comes furious, and it can upset the balance, and it did in a big way here this afternoon.
Yeah, John, I definitely agree. We've had our share of mud shows back in the States, especially in California earlier this season, and we've seen a lot of things go haywire, but this was a different kind of event. I've got to say my highlight of the day was Joe Dennis in Black Panther holding down that top spot for quite some time earlier during freestyle. He put down a burner. He really threw it down, especially making up for that rollover during the Kmart Skills Challenge.
Absolutely, and like I said earlier, when the rain comes in, when the mud starts, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Sometimes it leads to a lot of chaos. We saw that in a bad way, but sometimes it leads to a lot of chaos, and we saw it in a great way with Joe Dennis in Black Panther, with Charlie Pauken in Megalodon, the ones that could really fight off all of the elements to put down an absolutely crazy, mind-blowing freestyle run. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for us here at Monster Jam this afternoon. Thank you to all of you for braving the elements with us. It is wild, it is electric every time we come here to Melbourne. For Eunice Cruz and Christina Moore, I'm John Sapanaro. We'd like to thank you all for coming out. We hope you had fun, and we'll see you at the next Monster Jam.
The keys in the ignition, so drivers fire your engines. It's a battle to the end. Never give up, never give in. It's grit and guts, dirt and dust. Get out your seat and put your hands up. Let's ride, we got the green light.